Hello and welcome to the Critical Curious. I'm Monk, and today, yes, we're doing a video in Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, as someone with the latest 5 consecutive wins and well over 300 competitive wins, thought it'd be a good idea to share a deck guide that I think works really well in the current meta using the latest cards. Now, this is a Machamp EX deck. We are running 2 copies of Machamp EX in this. Now, we've paired it with 2 copies of Lucario as well. Lucario, of course, pumps up fighting moves. We've still got Marshadow as well. I do think it's a very, very good card. But now we've got Sudowoodo, a very, very good card, that damaged EX card for only 1 energy. We're also running Cyrus and Sabrina. I think running both of them 1 and 1's really important because Sabrina's great for early game, Cyrus is great for late game, and it gives us a little bit of versatility within our deck. So let's jump into this battle. Now, I'm going to show you 2 fights, okay? We're going to do one right now, and then we're going to show you the start of a second as well. Now, this first fight is really a Lucario masterpiece. Please note that we are up against Psychic. Psychic, of course, is fighting's weakness, but yet we still managed to pull out the win. Now, as you can see, managed to get Marshadow, managed to get Lucario the evolution. And of course, we are going second, so that means we get access to energy first. So slight advantage with us, but of course, because we're up against Psychic, you could say that we're up against a huge disadvantage here. Here we are doing 20 damage with a little jab, jab. But I absolutely love this fighting deck. I've been running a Machamp deck for a little while now. I've had a couple of videos on it, but it seems to be always evolving because, of course, new cards are coming out. And, of course, that means that the older decks are going to be evolving. I love using those original cards, and I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for that original 150 Pokemon as well. So, hence, this deck for me just, hits all those buttons and works really well. Now, we're about to evolve into Lucario. What that's going to do is buff up all of our fighting type moves, an extra 20. Now, what's important to note, we're running 2 copies of that. If we manage to get both of those out, both Lucarios out, that stacks. So not only do you get the 20, but you also get the second 20, meaning we get an extra 40 to all attacks. And yes, that does include Machamp when it's fully evolved as well. And for only 2 energy, fighting 2 energy, I think that's really good. It's a really good quick attacker. It's got a half decent health. I think 100 health isn't too bad. You can normally, get a hit here and there, especially early game. But there we go. We got 1 point on the board already. Now, this one hits absolutely hard. I do think this is actually a really good Psychic deck. Interesting because they're running Alakazam. Obviously, that counters a lot of those Palkia decks out there, or even Arceus as well, I believe. So I don't think that they was expecting to come up against a fighting deck, to be fair. But they must have been feeling very confident coming up against a fighting deck, knowing that they've got that extra advantage in attack points. Now, unfortunately, he's going to make me choose my Marshadow. We luckily managed to get another filter card, that being the Pokeball. I like all those deck thinners. And, the Pokeballs, the Professor's Researches. I kind of wish there was another one out there. I guess there is, in a sense. There are a couple extra things that can just help cycle through your decks these days. It's really good to see. Kind of needed an X speed there to keep that energy on Marshadow, but it's okay. Managed to do 60 damage. Let's see what they do. It depends how quickly they can power up that Alakazam. I do think that's a really cool Alakazam artwork as well. We're down to 30 health right now. We do have a Sabrina. We have a second Lucario, so that pumps Lucario's attack back up again. And we've got that all-important energy to pop on Marshadow there. And, of course, what that does is set him up. Because, of course, if one of my Pokemon are KO'd, Marshadow does a redonkulous amount of attack. You can really set him up to KO so many Pokemon in this game. And now the all-important Alakazam is up and about to be powered up as well. Ooh, doing 140 damage. That's not good. Well done to Alakazam. It's a really strong card if you manage to get it out. Now, we're going to put out, obviously, Marshadow. Of course, that is getting boosted by Lucario still as well. So it's doing that extra 20 damage. Now, he does have too much health for us. But that's okay, because, of course, we've got Sabrina. A very good reason for why I always say, bring a Sabrina. And there we go. We do 120 damage. And of course, that is our third point, and that is our win. So we did manage to beat a Psychic deck, an Alakazam deck, with this fighting deck. So Lucario for the absolute win here. But it is Machamp that I do think is the showstopper within this deck. And as you can see, we just drew a brand new hand. We got our Machop. We have Machoke in the bag there. And of course, we've got a Professor's Research as well. Now, we are up against a Charizard deck here. Charizard is a very, very good, strong deck. But why I like this fighting deck so much is because it's got so much consistency to it. Being able to pull 2 out of the 3 cards needed is what happens quite often. So yeah, it's just a deck that I just think works so well. It's a deck that not many people use these days. Fighting decks, don't really see too many of them out there. But it's a really good, consistent deck. One thing that I like about Pokemon TCG Pocket at the moment is that there are so many meta cards out there. There's so many decent decks out there, and all of them have slight variations in them as well. You can't really say that too many people are running the same decks. So that's one thing that I really like about these games, about this deck in particular. It may not be perfect, but there's definitely cards that you can mix in, mix out. I think Sudowoodo doesn't necessarily need to be in it. Marshadow doesn't necessarily need to be in it. You don't necessarily need to be running 2 copies of Lucario either, but I think it all helps. The deck list that we've got here together today, I just think works so well. And I think every single time I show off this deck, as in the Machamp deck, it just seems to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger the more cards come out. Let me know down in the comments if you've got a deck tweak that you use, or of course if you've got a deck list that you want to share. Until next time, happy gaming.